everybody, guess what? It's my birthday, woohoo! And I've got bags under my eyes because I was up till 5 in the morning here in New York City watching Richmond Football Club play in the grand final, in the Australian Rules grand final. Check out all the stuff I've been saying about the Tigers in this series of videos. And then I was watching my favorite football team, Richmond Football. They're playing in the preliminary grand final. This means a lot to me because my dad and I used to watch football together. And if they won this game, they were going to go into the grand final, which is like our version of the Super Bowl. And at the first half, they were losing by like 21 points, which is substantial, and they were really getting beaten by this other team who's really outplaying them and stuff like that. I love this team because they do all mindfulness stuff, and they're really into meditation and use the white light. Yeah, they do. Read the book, Black and Gold. And they came back after the second half. Guess what? I was doing energy work on them. I was like sending energy to them, working on the consciousness of the crowd, because the crowd starts thinking they're going to lose, and then that's a lot of energy of like, oh my God, you're going to lose. And that builds up. You know, we're sensitive, energetic, connected beings. Anyway, so I did energy work, and I shifted until I felt inside myself there was going to be a shift. And then they came out and they won, because they're my creation and I wanted them to win. So they did. They won, and they're through to the grand final next Saturday. Grand final. And it's like the 27th. By the way, tomorrow is my birthday, and Richmond Tigers are playing in the grand final. What does that mean to me? That means I'll be really stoked when they win, and also the magic I've been working on them is working. So last night, before the game, I sent my brother a text. He's traveling across the mainland USA before the game, which started at 12:30 a.m. this morning on my birthday. This is what I sent him. Let's see what happened.
The biggest win ever for Richmond in a grand final. The third biggest ever. And Jack, no, yes he does! An 89-point victory in front of 100,014 people. Simply breathtaking. A second to go. The Tigers are premiers for the 12th time in their history.
So folks, not only did I call that the Richmond Tigers would win, I called it that they would win by the biggest ever, biggest whatever it was, ever. How did I know that? Oh my God, we're gonna go so far down the rabbit hole on this video for me to explain how I knew that alignment was coming. Because it's one thing to say, yeah, they're gonna win, but biggest win ever in the history of the club. Come on, come on. All right, here's one of the major principles I talked about in yesterday's video, which is what is the meaning of things. And if you start with frequency first, and it's really like usually about a feeling, check this out. A lot of it comes down to freedom and power. And there's ways that you can access, and love. I'll feel loved. So if you work on the inner core of love and all of those feelings, then you're vibing on the level that makes everyone a winner, baby. That's the truth.
I just love everyone at the club. It's just a great bunch of boys. We just love each other. We love the coaches. Everyone involved. It's just it's so good.
Okay, that guy is this guy, probably one of the greatest football players ever, covered in tattoos, looks like a beast, plays like a beast, deeply into meditation, mindfulness, and spirituality. But check out how he plays.
Shaw tries to attack the footy. Martin able to pick it up and turns around the corner, and Dusty just nails another one home for the Tigers.
He also won Everyone's a Winner, baby, best and fairest on the day, What was his core? His core frequency was love. And that is a decision the Richmond Football team actually made. You should read their book, Black and Gold. It talks about the shift in consciousness that they made as a team a couple of years ago, well, I guess about 3 years ago now, which totally transformed their team to they hadn't won a premiership for 37 years, and then they won in 2017. But here's the thing. This is about my love as well, because this is really meaningful for me. My dad and I used to watch the football team, go to the footy together when I was a kid. And then I left Australia. I hadn't watched much football for years. And I went back in 2017 to Australia. And I just happened to, that year, be there for the first time during football season, because usually I would come back during the summer. And I had been working on these energy tools, these energy like matrix bending tools, and I started watching the games, and that player I showed you gave off such a powerful energy. I was getting like, whoa, who is this guy? I didn't know anything about him. Later on, I found out he's all into meditation and consciousness and all this sort of stuff. And that's why he's got like this massive cosmic aura, and plays like a totally in the zone beast. But yeah, so I'm watching the games and I'm like, I'm going to try these matrix bending tools that I have. I use them in like this is in 2017. And because this is what my dad and I loved and what we shared, it's really like the core of my love for my dad, I guess. Oh, oops. And so anyway, and my dad didn't believe in any of this stuff. So I was like, you know, Dad, I'm going to work the magic. I'm going to work the magic, and they're going to win the grand final this year. And I called it, and they did. I did a lot of energy work on it. That's the whole thing, is you have to feel a lot of love to put that much effort into it, right? So I did a lot of energy work on it. And one of the big things when I was going into the energy field was, because the Richmond Tigers hadn't won a final for 37 years, it wasn't so much the players, but the fans. There's so much energy in the volume of the fans. They have like 100,000 fans. That if the fans didn't have the belief energetically, when they would start losing, their fan energy would start overpowering them. And that's what I talked about in that earlier video. So they won the grand final 2017. And I talk about this in my podcast, Coming Out of the Cosmic Closet. And this is why this is a real powerful week for me, because I just released last weekend, the weekend of the preliminary final, that I talk about in the videos, the story about my dad's passing and his crossing over earlier this year. And he crossed over, I think it was like the night before the first game of the season. And the Tigers, who are an incredible team, had the worst start of the season. Like that first game they won, but their star player got injured his leg, out for the season. When we're talking like a superstar player, and then every week all their superstar players were getting injured and they really started losing. I mean, it is like an amazing feat by the team that they made it to the grand final. But I was really going through all this grieving stuff, and at a certain point, and because I was grieving, I wasn't feeling very connected to my dad. But then one morning I woke up, and I talk about this in the podcast, and I felt all this energy lift, and I felt my dad's presence, and I just knew it was gonna turn around. And I actually wrote to that star player and I said, it's gonna turn around. I could find that message as well, but and from then on it totally turned around. So because I'm connected to the other side, I could feel already this week that they were going to win. I just sort of knew it. I knew it in my knowingness. But I certainly did some energy work as the game started. I was doing energy work. I'm not going to tell you the energy work that I do during the game. And then I felt my dad's energy come in, and he was like, relax, they're going to win. Stop it with the energy work. You can just stop and watch the game. This is hilarious to me. I know you probably think I'm mad, but they went on to win a thrashing. So, am I saying that like I'm responsible for the Richmond Tigers being winners. Here's where we're going to go down the rabbit hole, because this is about consciousness. I'm not saying I control all the players. What I'm doing when I'm doing this work is I am choosing to land my consciousness in the parallel reality where Richmond had that result. And I'll tell you why I knew it was going to be a thrashing, is because I don't like tense games during the grand final. Like, there were plenty of tense games during the season, but in the grand final, I like to know early that they're going to win and then just calmly relax and watch it. So they just started dominating straight away. So I'm like, yeah, this would be this is like prime for me. I don't need to lose any more hair over this. Okay, this is what I want you to understand with this. Our minds keep us in limitation. They keep us in this limitation that we're in this singular reality, and that there's only one possibility. And the work that we do when we dissolve resistance, when we dissolve belief structures, we're actually allowing ourselves to move from one reality into another possibility, into another possible reality. And I have a whole massive episode coming up on my Coming Out of the Cosmic Closet podcast, where I talk about more in depth Richmond Tigers, parallel realities, how to pop in from one to another. So I'm not going to go into it majorly here, but that's kind of how I knew. That's the work I've been doing, to just pop into the right reality. I should rename this series. It hasn't been so much about me winning the lottery, but facing things like fear, failure, ruin, all the stuff that I've been talking about, and dissolving the consciousness of that moves you into a reality where that's not really existing for you anymore. And then I can feel that alignment when that is happening. Then you move into like knowingness. There's manifestation of knowingness. That's a whole bunch of other stuff. But I did use these tools to help my friend Vicky Barbalak, who is in some of these other videos, to get through to America's Got Talent. A lot of the times when I was working with her, I'm not just working with her consciousness, I'm working with the consciousness of the audience, of the industry, of the judges, of everything, because it's bigger, and we're all connected. Only the mind is keeping us in separation from the fact that we are actually all one big connected organism. So I know that's pretty mind-blowing stuff, but it's kind of a mind-blowing day, right? Richmond Tigers, biggest win ever. I called it. So I'm going to do a scratchy. It's my birthday. Do I really care whether I win or not? Not that much, but it would be awesome. I will pick this light black and gold one because that is Richmond Tigers color. Guys, you've just got to go to my website, get my book, Authentic Positivity System, because it will explain these principles of energy to you. I know some of the stuff, some people might listen and go like, this chick is delusional, but it is about landing your consciousness in the reality where you are moving into alignment with what you want. And, that's the place where everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth. So it is my birthday. So this is what I was going to say. I want to now harness your collective energy, people, for me to have a biggest win ever. Because whoever's watching this, if you're getting anything out of these videos, I would like you to put forward an intention for me to win. I need to crowdsource some power energy to win on this game. Win some stuff. God, they make these things look really similar, so you think you've won, but you haven't. Well, maybe that's the thing. Fake it till you make it, right? Fake it till you make it. So get in a good mood. Now, how do you really get into a good mood? Well, you don't get into a good mood by suppressing your bad moods. What you do is you go into the feeling of them and you shift the energy of them. And that is how you move into authentic positivity. You're not in a resistant state. You're in the state of the no mind. And that's where you power through. Okay, I didn't win on this one. Guys, I need you to wish me happy birthday and send me out some big, powerful, winning energy. Let's crowdsource the winning here. All right, I love you. Mwah! Go Tigers!
Look at that crowd. Over 100,000 people.
It's my birthday. So if they win the grand final, that'll be an awesome birthday present for me, and especially from my dad in football heaven now.